When I started making this video last month, it looked like Star Wars toys were in danger of being taken out of the world's biggest retailer. Now, after this past week in collecting news, I'm convinced the hobby is on its way out, tariffs or not. Friends, this may be the end of the hobby as we know it, and I don't feel fine. I've covered a lot of toy content. I was there for the closure of Toys R Us. I unearthed the Ollie's dump like I'm Indiana Jones. But now I'm here to talk about something that most didn't see coming. But the writing's been on the wall for a long, long time, and it's only now that change is coming. But it's not good. Over the last few years, we've documented how Star Wars toys just don't sell. It's not a new phenomenon. For close to a decade, I've been out there researching what's going on. From the fallen Toys R Us to the clogged artery of retail known as Ollie's, Star Wars has remained an unloved yet very, very present part of the retail landscape. Every time a new toy line drops, the comment sections are flooded with "I'll wait for Ollie's," which is partially my fault, but I'm not sorry. These toys are based on things that outright suck. There's no wiggle room anymore. What if I told you that the irrelevancy that was about to catch up with Star Wars just might be coming after all collectibles? What if I told you that change is coming that will alter the entire collectible landscape? Would you laugh? Would you cry? Would you care? Why should you? The toy industry is shrinking for many, many reasons we're about to talk about. Folks, strap in. You've just listened to the longest intro in the history of World Class Bullshitters.
The following is a World Class Bullshitters exclusive.
Toy collecting is a hobby that can unite generations through nostalgia and creativity. And sadly, it's teetering on the brink of obsolescence. A confluence of economic challenges, new tariffs, soaring toy prices, and a strained economy has collided with industry missteps and shifting cultural trends to erode the hobby's viability. Retailers are shrinking toy aisles, major players like Hasbro are grappling with overpriced unsold inventory, and collectors are increasingly alienated by high cost and lackluster offerings. Beyond economics, waning interest in major franchises like Marvel, over-reliance on intellectual property-driven toys, and the recycling of other old properties and diminishing pull of nostalgia are reshaping the landscape. Today we're going to explore these interconnected factors, which paint a bleak picture for toy collecting. The once vibrant subculture fades into exclusivity or irrelevance. The 2025 tariffs have struck a devastating blow to the toy industry, inflating costs and squeezing collectors' budgets. Over the last 2 months, there have been new, increased tariffs on Chinese imports, and China is the country that produces nearly 80% of all US toys. Additional tariffs from other places like Vietnam, Indonesia, and India have also stifled efforts to diversify the supply chain. Our good friend Chris Cox, aka Hasbro CEO, warned that these tariffs could drive toy prices up by 50% if production shifts to the US, where labor costs are prohibitive. A $20 action figure would soon cost $30 to $45, a price hike that collectors on X lament as the death of casual collecting. This economic strain is compounded by the persistent inflation which has eroded discretionary spending since the early 2020s. Hasbro has reported a slump in demand in 2023 as consumers prioritized essentials, a trend lingering into 2025, leaving collectors, often middle-income enthusiasts, struggling to justify their hobby. Retailers responding to declining toy sales and shifting priorities are shrinking toy aisles, further isolating collectors. The 2018 collapse of Toys R Us, which we documented sadly here on this channel, left Walmart and Target as primary retail hubs, but these stores are now reducing toy shelf space to focus on more profitable goods. In 2022, toy makers pivoted to smaller, cheaper products to combat inflation, sidelining the premium collectibles that enthusiasts crave. Smaller aisles mean fewer chances to find rare exclusive items, pushing collectors to online marketplaces, where scalpers, the pieces of shit they are, inflate prices. For fans of Hasbro's Marvel Legend or Star Wars lines, this shift is particularly painful as limited edition releases are harder to source in-store. As physical toy aisles shrink, collectors are increasingly pushed towards online retailers, only to encounter a new set of obstacles: price gouging and shady practices that erode trust and affordability. Platforms like eBay, Amazon Marketplace, and specialty sites such as Big Bad Toy Stores have become the go-to source for rare and exclusive figures, but some exploit collectors' desperation with tactics that prioritize profit over fairness. Dynamic pricing algorithms, often used by third-party sellers, inflate costs in real time based on demand, meaning a Marvel Legend figure listed for $25 can jump to $50 if the search traffic spikes. Posts on social media highlight collectors' frustration, with one user noting, "I refreshed a page and the price went up $15 in minutes." How is that not a scam? Such practices punish loyal fans who rely on online retailers to replace the in-store hunting experience. Worse, some retailers engage in artificial scarcity, holding back stock to drive up perceived value. Reports on Reddit describe sites advertising low stock warnings for Hasbro's Star Wars Black Series only for the same items to appear on higher prices days later. Pre-order cancellations, another shady tactic, see retailers often oversell limited editions, then canceling orders citing inventory errors, leaving collectors to repurchase at scalper-driven markups. These prices, coupled with inflated shipping fees, sometimes $10 to $20 for a single figure, make online collecting feel predatory. This exploitation deepens the hobby's inaccessibility, pushing collectors towards frustration or abandonment. One retailer that's been the talk of the town lately is Big Bad Toy Store. The online retailer has faced significant backlash from their customers in regards to their new tariff policies, with some calling it out directly. In an April 2025 letter, Big Bad Toy Store founder Joel Bobbitt detailed the devastating impact of escalating tariffs on the toy industry. Tariffs on Chinese goods starting at 10% and soaring to 125% by April 9th, alongside a 10% tariff on Vietnam imports, affect 90% of their products. These taxes, paid by U.S. companies and consumers, will raise retail and pre-order prices, with surcharges of 15 to 40% added upon product arrival. Bobbitt expressed heartbreak over the price hikes, pledging transparency and flexibility, but warned of the complex, poorly implemented tariffs threaten collectors' wallets and the hobby's affordability. Many collectors are upset that prices that were guaranteed have been altered without them knowing, eroding trust. Some collectors find this acceptable, others find it unacceptable, and some at least want an email to give them a heads up before they're charged. As tariffs skyrocket, toy companies and retailers face a choice: pass these costs on to collectors or absorb them. Many collectors feel businesses should shoulder the burden for several compelling reasons, sparing customers who are already stretched thin. First, absorbing tariffs preserves customer loyalty, a cornerstone of the toy industry's survival. Collectors facing a $30 to $45 action figure due to tariff-driven hikes are abandoning the hobby. By maintaining affordable prices, companies like Hasbro and retailers like Big Bad Toy Store can retain their passionate base, ensuring long-term revenue over short-term gains. Second, businesses are better equipped to mitigate costs through operational efficiencies. Large corporations have resources to negotiate vendor contracts, optimize supply chains, or shift production to lower tariff regions. Big Bad Toy Store noted its efforts to minimize price increase through vendor discussions, suggesting retailers can share the financial pain rather than dumping it on customers. Notable retailer Entertainment Earth does not engage in this practice. Hasbro has just announced a $59 Marvel Legends Maximum Series Incredible Hulk, and most retailers still charge $59.99 for the figure. However, Entertainment Earth is now charging $74.99, which guarantees no collector will buy the action figure from their website, with a 50% markup over other retailers. However, discussions of overpriced Hasbro toys predate tariffs by years, so let's be honest here, that's not the main reason why toy collecting is dying. Hasbro, a titan of the toy collecting world, is at the heart of the hobby's decline, with overpriced toys and controversial decisions alienating the core audience. Lines like Marvel Legends and Transformers, once collector staples, now retail for $30 to $60 before tariff-driven increases, outpacing inflation and testing fans' loyalty. It's also testing my patience, but that's the topic for another video. Hasbro's Maximum series have drawn particular ire for the repetitive designs and inflated price tags. Collectors online criticize Hasbro for flooding shelves with uninspired variants, often minor repaints or reissues, while neglecting fresh characters or innovative sculpts. The $50 Maximum Spider-Man figure, for instance, leaves fans feeling gouged rather than inspired. Some feel that they found a way to increase the price of their basic products, without innovations in design, build, and quality. These overpriced toys will eventually stop selling, and retail has already begun to shrink at the retail space. Unsold inventory, a problem since 2021 shipping delays, underscores Hasbro's missteps. The company's focus on kidults, adults ranging from 13 on up, who drive 60% of revenue, has failed as prices alienate this demographic. Cost-cutting measures, including $600 million in expense reductions and 2/3 cut to its production lineup, signal a retreat from the variety collectors value. By prioritizing these short-term profits over collector satisfaction, Hasbro has eroded the loyalty that has sustained brands like G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and Marvel for decades. The declining popularity in Marvel, a linchpin of modern-day toy collecting, is another nail in the hobby's coffin. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, once a juggernaut, has struggled since Phase 4. Collectors who once clamored for MCU-inspired figures now express fatigue on social media. Hasbro's Marvel Legend line, heavily tied to MCU releases, suffer as a result, with shelves clogged by figures tied to the lackluster films. Just look at our Ollie's videos to see what I'm talking about. This mirrors a broader issue, the pitfalls of producing IP-based toys that rely on brands' cultural relevance. When a franchise like Marvel or Star Wars loses momentum, their toys become harder to sell, leaving collectors with repetitive, uninspired options. The toy industry's dependence on IP-driven product amplifies the risk. Unlike the 1980s, where original concepts like He-Man or Transformers sparked imaginations, today's toys are tethered to existing franchises, from Jurassic Park to Fortnite. This strategy, while lucrative when brands are hot, often falters when interest wanes. Hasbro's struggle with Dungeons & Dragons toys, tied to the 2023 film flop, illustrates this. Collectors ignored figures linked to a poorly received movie, leaving them to gather dust at Ollie's. The over-reliance on IP also stifles creativity as toy makers prioritize safe bets over bold new ideas, reducing the variety that collectors want. It seems that everything has a movie tie-in now. No wonder collecting feels so stale. In a bid to retain collectors, toy makers are increasingly reviving old properties, but this strategy is backfiring. Reissues of G.I. Joe, Thundercats, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles aim to tap into nostalgia, but collectors often find these adaptations lack the charm of the original. Updated designs like G.I. Joe's Classified series prioritize modern aesthetics over retro appeal, alienating some fans who want a faithful recreation. Meanwhile, the prices of these nostalgic figures often range from $25 to $35, and it feels exorbitant compared to their 1980s counterpart, adjusted for inflation. Collectors frequently complain about lazy cash grabs. The flood of retro-inspired toys also oversaturates the market, diluting their specialness. Nostalgia, once a powerful driver of toy collecting, is losing its grip. Millennials and Gen Xers, the hobby's backbone, are aging out of the kidult demographic, and younger collectors like Gen Z show less attachment to 80s or 90s properties. Current economic pressures weaken nostalgia's pull. Some collectors would love to relive their childhood, but $40 for a reissued He-Man is a little too much for them. The constant recycling of old IPs also risks alienating collectors who crave originality, pushing them towards new hobbies like video games or trading cards, which can offer a more dynamic experience. Without fresh narratives or affordable entry points, nostalgia alone can't sustain toy collecting. The psychological toll is palpable in the collector community, where debates rage over whether to sell collectors or pivot to digital alternatives. The tariffs, unlikely to spur US toy production soon, will continue to inflate costs. As Hasbro notes, the complexity of replacing Asia's supply chain domestically without intervention, such as price stabilization, innovative designs, or broader retail support, toy collecting risks becoming a relic, preserved by a dwindling few. The hobby's cultural role as a bridge between childhood wonder and adult creativity is at stake, leaving collectors to mourn the passion that once felt limitless. Toy collecting, once a vibrant tapestry of nostalgia and community, is fading into obscurity, but the blame lies not with the passionate collectors, but with a hostile climate conspiring against them. The 2025 tariffs, inflating toy prices by up to 50%, have made figures unaffordable for so many. Shrinking retail aisles and online retailers' predatory price gouging limit access, while Hasbro's overpriced toys, uninspired Maximum line, and pivot to video games betrays the hobby's roots. Waning interest in IPs like Marvel, recycled properties, and nostalgia's fading pull further dim the spark, driven by the industry's choices, not fan disloyalty. Collectors remain devoted. Just look online. They talk about customizing figures, cherishing their displays, yet face a landscape where the passion alone can't overcome a $40 price tag or barren shelves. The hobby's decline is a tragedy of economics and corporate missteps, but not a reflection of its fans, who deserve better than a future where toy collecting becomes a luxury relic. So folks, what do you think about this? Have you noticed that your toy aisles are shrinking? I have. The anecdotal stuff at the beginning of this video was reflected in my stores as well, and as you can see when I film these toy shelves, things have shrunk, things have changed, but Ollie's continues to grow, because people won't buy these toys at full price, and they'll wait for clearance. Can you blame them? I'm a toy collector just like you guys. You've seen the videos, I show my shelf, I'm into this stuff. I don't want to pay these prices, unless they increase the value. $50 for Spider-Man is ridiculous. I don't care that I have 50 of them behind me. I'm not going to spend $50 on a toy that looks just like a pizza Spider-Man. I know the difference. You can spare me the comments. Actually, if you want to tell me in the comments below why I'm so wrong about that Maximum Spider-Man, I'd love to know. I'll respond to you guys under this video. But folks, thank you for watching. I'm sorry to give you such a bleak, bleak video, but let's be realistic about a lot of this. It affects me, it affects you. We all love the collecting hobby. If only Hasbro wouldn't have overproduced those damn Shurikopters, the resources spent on those could be funneled into something worthwhile. So folks, I want to thank you for spending your time with this video. Hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and share us all over social media. Even if you disagree, let's hear what other people have to say. So thank you for watching. I'll be back next time with more. But until then, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.